cannot go any lower. So this side is going to stay. But I'm going to change 4 to 2 to the what power? To the second. And what was behind that is going to come down in parentheses. So then you can drop the 2. And that would be x minus 4 equals 2 times 5x plus 3. And now we're going to distribute that 2 completely. Don't forget the 3. Everything in the parentheses is multiplied by 2. So we'll have x minus 4 equals 10x plus 6. I'm going to subtract the x, but you could also subtract the 10x. And that will give you negative 4 equals positive 9x plus 6. And then I need to subtract 6. So when you put negative 4 minus 6, that's like saying I borrowed $4 from you. And then the next day I asked you to borrow $6. So altogether now I owe you $10. So it's a negative 10 equals 9x. And our last step is to divide by 9. So my answer, and you can leave it as a fraction. I don't know if I had that talk with you all, or maybe that was another class, but if you get an answer that's a fraction, just leave it a fraction. That's a lot more accurate than a decimal. I will take a decimal, but just try to get in the habit of just leaving it a fraction. All right, we're on the very last page of our packet. We're going to get into factoring review. I believe it's the last page at the bottom. So every single test we have is going to have factoring on it, because our last unit is all factoring. So we're going to just keep practicing. So hopefully when we get to May, we got it. All right, so A is the difference of two squares. You always start by asking, do you have a GCF? This one doesn't have a GCF. So I'm going to make my 2 parentheses. The only thing that you can multiply to get x squared is x times x. What do you think the number is that's going in the back? It has to be the same number. 7. 7 times 7 is 49. Put that in the back. And then what about the signs? Are they plus, plus, minus, minus? What do we put? A minus and a plus. That would be your answer. I'm going to do these out of order a little bit. Isaiah, I need you to put that away. I need you to pay attention. All right, so now let's go all the way down to E. E is also the difference of squares, except this one has a GCF. I can divide them by something first. So right now, it doesn't look like the pattern. But what number can I divide into 3 and 12? Not 4. 3. I think you're thinking 12 divided by 3 is 4. Yeah, but the number we divided it by to get to the 4 was 3. So 3 comes on the outside. So this gives me 1x squared minus 4. And just like A, this is a pattern. So try to do it on your own. Finish it out. You have to figure out what goes in the front, what goes in the back. One is positive and one is negative. All right, so the only thing that we can multiply to get x squared is x. So that goes in the front. And what multiplies to give you 4? 2. That goes in the back. And just like the first one is positive and one is negative. All righty. Any questions? Okay, now let's look at B. Now, B is not a pattern, but whenever A is 1, and I don't know if you didn't have me last semester, maybe your teacher didn't tell you the shortcut, but there is a shortcut. You don't have to make a box for everything. You only have to make a box when A is not equal to 1. So this one, A is equal to 1. So I'm going to make my 2 parentheses. And in front, I'm going to put an X. Because again, the only thing that can multiply to give you X squared is X times X. So I know I'm going to start both parentheses with an X. All right, so now I'm going to take, because this is A, this is B, this is C. Take A times C, which is 1 times 6. So 6 goes on the top. The middle number goes on the bottom. Don't say it out loud. Give everybody a chance. But there are 2 numbers that multiply to be a positive 6 and add to a positive 5. When you know the number, just give me a thumbs up. Okay, got 1 person that got it. 2 people. Just 2 people? 3 people? 4 people? I think this is the hardest part of factoring. It's finding those 2 numbers, which is why I do have multiplication tables if you would like to help you find those numbers a little faster. All right, so who wants to tell me the 2 numbers? 2 and 3, and they're both positive. So what you're going to do is put a +2 in one parentheses and a +3 in the other. That is your final answer. All right, now let's look at C. C has a GCF, just like E. What number can I divide into 2, 4, and 16? They're all even. And because they're all even, they can be, somebody besides Enma. Because they're all even, they can be divided by what? By 2. So let's do that. Divide all 3 numbers. Divide the 4 by 2. So this is now a 1. So you got 1x squared. Go ahead and divide the rest by 2. 4 divided by 2, 16 divided by 2. Okay, so half of 4 is 2. Half of 16 is 8. So again, this is A, B, C. Again, because A is 1, we don't have to make a box. So I want you to take 1 times -8. Well, actually, sorry, before we do that, go ahead and put your X in the front of both. All right, so now we're going to take 1 times -8, put that on top. B goes on the bottom. Don't say it out loud. But find 2 numbers that multiply to -8 and add to -2. And I'll give you a hint. The only way you can get a negative number on the top is if one number is negative and the other number is positive. All right, this one is a little trickier. Who found the numbers? I'm just curious. I'm not going to call on you. I just want to see who found it. Because that's the hard part. All right, who wants to tell me the numbers? -4 and +2. So I'm going to put a -4 in one and a +2 in the other. All right. Now let's go to D. Now we get to D. This is the first time we have to make a box. Because my first value, or A, is 2, and this one does not have a GCF. So let's make our box. Now this number here, whatever is in the front, that always goes top left. And the last number always goes bottom right. So just like before, you take A times C, put that on top. So +2 times +6. What is 2 times 6? 12. Put that on top. The B value is always the number that goes on the bottom. All right, don't say it out loud. Again, this is the hardest part. But now, because the number on top is positive and the number on the bottom is negative, that means I'm looking for two numbers that are negative. So see if you can find those two numbers. And just focus on 7. Two numbers that multiply to be 7. I'm sorry, not multiply. That multiply to 12 and add to be 7. And just know that those two numbers are going to be negative. What's some numbers that you know can multiply to give you 12? The only numbers that I know of course, is 1 times 12. So 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. So which one of those pairs will add to be 7? 3 times 4. And we know they both have to be negative. Okay, so we're going to go through this pretty slow. Again, that I know that's the hardest part, which is why if you want a multiplication chart, you can have one. You sure can. Okay, so we're going to go 2 squares at a time. Let's look at these two right here. The ones you see shaded in blue. What can I take out of those 2 squares? I can't take out a number other than 1, but what can I take out? X. So let's take out the X. 1X. And now let's go to the bottom row. Okay. They're both even. So that means I could divide those numbers by 2. But factoring is like energy. This 2 is next to a -4. So it's going to pick up the energy. If this is negative, then so will this. Okay, so it's going to be a -2. All right, so now let's look at the column. Well, both of these are also even. So I know I can take out a 2, and I can also take out an X. Now, I will say, before I start teaching at Pike, I did not use this method of factoring. But the reason I like it is because you can make sure you did it right if what you take out multiplies to be what you get on the inside. So if you know 1x times 2x is 2x squared and 2x times negative 2 is negative 4, then I'm confident that what I took out so far is right. All right, and then our last, I am so sorry. My new medicine makes my nose run. I'm going to have to call my doctor because this is not going to work. It's so annoying. Okay, so 3 and 6. What number can go into 3 and 6? 3. So you can't divide 3 by 2, but you can divide 3 by 3 and 6 by 3. So whatever you take out has to be a number. So like in this box right here, this box has a 3 and an X, and this box has a 3 and a 2. So what I'm taking out is the 3. And it's going to keep the energy that it's next to, which is negative. So my factors will be 2x minus 3 and 1x minus 2. All right, last one. F. Do we have to make a box? Yes or no? Wait, let me go back. Do we have a GCF? No. All right, do we have to make a box? Who says yes? Who says no? We have to make a box whenever this number is not 1. So if this first number is not 1, you have to make a box. Let's go ahead and make our box. First number goes top left. Last number goes bottom right. So this is A, B, and C. So we're going to take 3 times 3. That goes on top. And then B goes on the bottom. So again, don't say it out loud. Give everybody the chance to think it through. Two numbers that multiplies to be a positive 9, but adds to a positive 10. And the only thing that can give you 9 is 1 times 9 and 3 times 3. So we're using 1 and 9. So I'm going to put a 1x and a 3x. The sniffing part is really annoying. Okay. So looking at these two squares, again, only thing I could take out of that is an x. And looking at my bottom row, well, they both have a 3 in it, right? So I could take out a 3. Let's take out a 3. Is that a positive 3 or a negative 3? Positive, because it's going to pick up the energy. I do believe in energy, by the way. I think that's real. Okay, last two. When we look at these two, see how they both have a 3? So that means I could take out a 3 again, but I can also take out an x. What'd I do? I was just playing with y'all. See, when you're a good teacher, you make mistakes to help your students. That's what I was doing there. I was just trying to see if somebody was going to say something. Okay. Well, fortunately, it didn't change anything, but that should be a 9. So I'm going to take out the 3. And now I can check it. Again, 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times 9 is 9x. So I'm feeling like, okay, I got it. And the only thing that can come out these last two squares is what? The only thing that can go into a 1 is a 1. So if one of my squares has a 1 in it, it has to be a 1. Is it a positive 1 or a negative 1? Positive. All right. So again, just a reminder that our test is on Friday. Now, this test, again, it should be a very easy test. Now, there are 2 homework assignments left. 3 is due today and 4 is due tomorrow. I am putting in the zeros for the people who have not turned in 3. So use this time to finish homework 3 and 4 and get those turned in. And again, a test is coming up this Friday.